Hello everyone, this is RaySpace in Realism Overhaul Sandbox in Kerbal Space Program 1.12. Yesterday I posted a video on an enlarged X-37, which I dubbed the X-37D, and I found that it was not large enough for its purpose, which was to take the place of Starship on the top of Super Heavy as a reusable second stage. It was carrying about, let's say, 40 to 50 tons to low Earth orbit, but that's not good enough for us. So I decided to make it the full Starship size, which means, well, I mean, it's actually still lighter than Starship, but the previous one was about 600 tons. We're at 1,177 tons, and I did that by scaling it up physically by about 25%. So it's about 5 times the dimensions of X-37B. And the dry mass right now, if we take away the fuel, the methane oxygen fuel, is 162.94 tons. So I'm certainly not underdoing it in terms of the mass. Overdoing it maybe, but we are not being overly optimistic. This is without anything in the bay, as you can see, so this is completely dry. And I fixed the issues that I pointed out in the previous video with the normals, and so the inner part of the wing also has normals. But I don't know about the RCS thruster plumes. I'll have to look at that in a bit, because that's a waterfall thing, and I'm always iffy about waterfall. Anyway, but we do have a more pressing problem. As you can see here, it looks like the center of lift is way, way, way behind the center of mass. But of course, this is all being calculated by FAR in theory, so it shouldn't be, right? And I did fix the wing mass problem. FAR now recognizes it properly. The problem was that, okay, there's a way in Module Manager where you can duplicate a part to resize it. And so that's what I was doing. I had duplicated the original X-37B wing to make the D wing and just rescaled the D wing, but FAR was not picking up on it. So I just created a new part with the full size. It's not actually a new model or textures, it's just a new configuration to declare a new part instead of adding it as a module manager thing. And then that works for the mass. Sorry for all the details. But anyway, FAR is calculating the mass properly now. So it should also be calculating the aerodynamics, but then we have this business going on. But that's really a stock thing. And stock, I think, does not like the V-tail bit. By the way, these are tilted to 45 degrees. Technically, I think the real one is more like 48 degrees, just for you to know. But, oh, not what I wanted. FAR, please. Okay, so FAR itself seems to think that this is okay. Actually, we will probably want to have it with a little bit of fuel. So, okay, that still seems okay. If we're at Mach 1 at, say, 10 kilometers, that's okay. Mach 2 at, say, 20 kilometers. That's okay. So it's looking stellar so far. I mean, this is very, very good results overall. I don't think we have to worry too much. Yeah, I mean, this is as stable as it can be as far as this analysis is concerned. This is great. So I guess we have to believe that. But why don't we just test it out on the runway and see if I can take off with it just for funsies? This might go badly because the landing gear I can't make it too big because I literally can't scale these up more. It won't let me. It sort of freezes like that, and yeah, I can't scale those up more. And even if I did, they'd get way too heavy because the way they scale mass is bad. So I might strike the tail is what I'm saying. And lose the body flap as usual. But we will put it on super heavy again to see if we can carry at least 100 tons to orbit like that. So again, it's under-fueled, otherwise it'd be a little bit more difficult taking off. Not impossible, but difficult. It's quite an atmospheric day here at the KSC. And we're on the short runway, but that should not be a problem with all the power we're packing. Then again, these are the vacuum engines, so they're going to have bad ISP on the ground. Lots of atmospheric sounds. Okay, well, here we go. Let's hope the control surfaces are working the right way around. Oh boy. No! Okay, I think I thought I told those not to do pitch, but they seem to be doing pitch. Okay, well now it's deciding what to do to me. Oh, that's only a little bit. Okay, alright, hold on. Okay, I thought these were only doing roll. Let me see. Yeah, they are supposed to only do roll. They seem to be doing something though. And these are doing pitch, yaw, and roll, but maybe I'll just have them do pitch and yaw. I won't even have this do pitch. Just for now. That'll be steady. Let's see. But so far not great. I might move these forward to help with rotation. Alright. But then there's even less clearance in the back though. I guess I don't have atmospheric autopilot in this one. Yep. Okay. I mean, the way V-tails work to control pitch is a little bit weird. Come on. Aww. Well, that's no good. Oh. Well, so this way of testing, I mean, it's not supposed to take off anyway. This way of testing is clearly dubious. Maybe if we make it lighter. Really have the bare minimum of fuel in there. Well, let me just cut it in half. I could just start it in the air, in theory. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it without breaking that. That's really fast though. Hopefully the landing won't be like that, but you know, with FAR, the landing speeds tend to be faster than they need to be. Well, we're not gonna have a lot of ability to keep that up anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it feels really heavy right now. It does feel nose heavy. So maybe some adjustment needs to be made, but how exactly, I don't know. But maybe we can have the V-tails deflect more, but yeah, I mean, if I can't pitch up at 210 meters per second, that's sort of a problem. But, oh, well. That right wing likes to die, doesn't it? Okay, but let's put it on top of Super Heavy and see about the payload. Alright, let's see about this. How is this fit gonna work? Well, we can probably extend those fairings out. It sort of clips there like that. Might be okay to shift it just a smidge. Or will that be very aerodynamic? This part right here doesn't have any collider. It's just the body flap that does, so we're probably okay there. Eventually, I will consider making a custom adapter for it, but we have to settle on how big it needs to be first. Is this the right size? That is the question we're trying to answer. And we certainly want all the fuel now. Okay, I'm just looking for 100 tons. Now, of course, Starship just had a successful sort of test yesterday, and in a way my video released yesterday was sort of goading it into that successful test. I was basically hinting to Starship, hey, if you don't figure this out, we're going to replace you with a really big X-37. That was my message, mainly. So I'm glad to see that it understood that. Given the aerodynamics, I'm not going to try to do a re-entry test yet. We're just trying for the payload again. I want to see about a proper flight test before. Re-entry takes a lot of time. So if I can't fly it properly, I generally don't want to try the re-entry. It might end up doing re-entry better, but then right at the end, it's just going to be like unable to land. So yeah, I do want to do an approach and landing test at least, and there's no way this can do that at the moment, as far as I can tell. Why do I feel like I'll have to double check? I don't know. The wings always look small on X-37, so it's just that the wings look small to me right now too. So, but I'll double check that that's correct. All right, 100 tons. That's what it is. Now, if we take a look up here, it doesn't give us a clue as usual. So we're going to have to see in practical terms in flight. Well, it's very atmospheric here. And I let it do its full fuel up animation. Probably not. All right, SAS on, throttle is up, ignition, and launch. Still not too bad looking. Doesn't look that different from the previous one. It is only a mild upscale in order to get the extra fuel in. Okay, throttling down. Okay, shutting stuff off. And separation. Alrighty. I don't think we have enough. Well, we'll see how far short we are, but I don't think we have enough. But maybe this time I can reserve less in Super Heavy due to the fact that it's not getting out as far or going as fast. Really ought to test that separately as well. See how much it's got in it after we separate. Well, that's, to put it bluntly, way less than I thought it was gonna be. We're about 800 short, and that's not even including the issue of bringing it back down. Okay, well, let's see if we can get that somehow. Well, let me try for 80 tons. Still not getting a whole 800 there, so we're gonna have to hope that the booster does a little bit more. Alright, let's see. Well, if I can't get 80 tons out of it, I'll have to entertain making the dry mass lighter, which will help with actually landing it eventually, of course, too. Okay, all is well. We have cleared the tower. Well, get this kind of shot for this one. But I am still flying it, so adjustments need to be made. Past the speed of sound. Okay. Oh, we're already past the point. Well, 20 seconds then. Alright. Okay, let me quickly check over here. How much do we have left? 3,100. Well, might be enough, might not be enough, not sure. A lot of our velocity is vertical, which doesn't matter. It's the horizontal part that matters. Let's try and get that. We've got 1,000. We're now at 1,600 horizontal. So, yeah, maybe. Given some aerodynamics on it. Here, though, we're tight. So we have to see whether we make orbit with this. Yeah, it's not gonna make it like this. I swear, this is the first idea that seems legitimately cursed. It doesn't seem to give me the performance that I'm expecting given everything that I know. This is a legitimately cursed idea. Thank you, Chris Coombs, for this idea. Okay, great. Well, can I at least sort of use the RCS? RCS is happening even though the plumes aren't fixed yet. And the answer is probably no. Doesn't look like that's gonna be enough. 300 short here still. There are a lot of times where I'm surprised that my test actually makes it perfectly the first time around, and I'm left with a short video. This is not one of those times. Now it's fooling me the other way. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to deal with less. We were probably pushing super heavy way too much with the smaller X-37D, the one I showed in the previous video that was half size. That was probably asking too much. Let's say 60 tons. And really, we should have it on a docking port too. But we certainly can't cut out 40 tons from the dry mass of this thing. Maybe I can swing 20 tons, but not 40. Maybe it's because I'm not waiting for the animation to finish. I'll wait, just in case. Okay, certainly full up now. I mean, if we expended super heavy, it'd be easy, right? But no, can't do that. Heck, if we just expended super heavy, I could use MechJeb's ascent guidance to control it. I don't think it has an option to reserve fuel in the first stage, does it? I don't know if support hot staging would work. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't see that option, so. Okay, throttling down. Alright, we'll reserve that. Well, in theory, we have enough for now. We'll see. I mean, it's down to 60 tons. Please let this work. Well, it looks pretty and everything. But I'm having some problems. Granted, X-37 was never meant to do this part. Of course, it's not an upper stage. It's not designed like that. But once you scale up, it has a certain amount of volume. Maybe what we need to do is use more volume, like shrink the cargo bay or put some fuel in the cargo bay. but we already have a fairly decent amount of burn time. We're not carrying as much propellant as Starship does. And we are heavier, so that's basically the problem. Well, I mean, it sort of just barely made it. We do have some RCS left, but not enough to come back down. We will have to see. We've got straight up vacuum engines on the back here. Certainly can't put too many more of those. Anyway. Alright. Well, my efforts to make the X-37D happen are in this situation right now. And I don't know. It says 231 tons. How heavy is it actually right now? Without any payload. No, 162 tons. That might be pushing it. Maybe I can knock that down by 40 tons. Let me know what you think about that. Where should we put the dry mass of this puppy? Of course, the engines are included in this right now. So are the landing gear. We should probably make the landing gear bigger, but again, I can't in this case with these. I could put the stock ones on, but those scale even worse as far as the mass is concerned. So, yep. Well, X-37D work continues. And you saw the aerodynamic situation. That will have to be a thing that I'll deal with. But if we make it lighter, that will probably end up being better. The stall speed will be lower. So maybe that's the key. And then re-entry I'll have to test. I also have to test it with the original version, the X-37B, before releasing it. The package will include both, I think. Though I was thinking of putting it in the real spacecraft mod pack, because X-37B is a real spacecraft, but then this isn't, so... Anyway, well, with all those things to think about, I'll leave it here for today. With that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.